Hello, beautiful soul family. Rebecca here, your vibe mentor, bringing you another video on how to raise your vibration so you can live your best life. Today's video is a vlog update. I have not done one of these in quite a while. I reserve the vlog updates for just kind of standard what's going on in my life type content, and there hasn't been a ton of changes, so there hasn't really been a need for a vlog. But today is a very pivotal day, and I do have the windows open, so I hope the wind is not bothering the microphone for you. But yeah, today's a big day. I am officially single. The divorce was made final today, and this is a big moment for me. That I guess, where do I start? I have not been very good at telling you guys a lot of stories about me, stories about my life. I tend to like to focus on the how and getting things done, and that's the majority of the channel. I know a lot of you are loving the intuitive energy readings, so we're certainly going to keep those up. But I do like to just get personal sometimes, and to let you know who am I. And I always ask, please comment, because I want to know you too. I want to be a community together. But in order to do that, you have to get to know me. So here I am. How did I get to this place? This is a fascinating story. I'm 43 years old, so my early life was very tumultuous. I did do another video. I think it was titled like "What is my origin story?" It's pinned at the top of the channel, so if you ever want to check that out, I do share a lot of some of the gory details. There, literally, even that story doesn't contain everything because there's just so many things that were challenging that it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for me to tell. It's uncomfortable for people to hear. Nobody wants to hear all of those yucky things in one story. So I won't go into all of that detail today. We'll just kind of talk about how did I end up getting divorced. And it of course did start in the early years, having a very dysfunctional family. I like to joke I'm a reformed or recovering pastor's daughter, and in that vein, in my father's vein of teachings, there was a lot of guilt and shame and brokenness. And I remember being scared as a kid, driving down the highway and seeing the clouds roll back. And I thought God was going to come. And because I had had an impure thought 5 minutes ago, I was going to burn in hell, this place of fire and brimstone. And so there just was a lot of fear instilled in me as a child. And certainly a lot of unworthiness. And if you follow this channel, you will know I talk a lot about how light workers, spiritual beings, kind-hearted, good people oftentimes experience a lot of what they call complex trauma in their early childhood, or it can happen at any point in time. If you ever felt unsafe, unseen, unheard, uncared for, or unloved for extended period of time, that will put you in the bucket of having experienced complex trauma. And that's well and good. We don't really need to take a victim standpoint from that knowledge. What we do need to understand is that it creates an unworthiness wound. And I certainly experienced some of the deepest, darkest levels of feeling unworthy, and surprisingly not even realizing it, not having been conscious of it until a couple years ago. So call it 40 years of really not understanding the level of guilt and shame that was stemming from this unworthiness wound. And so what that does as people who experience essentially the hall of mirrors. So as a child, when you're in those 0 to 7 years and you've got a parent yelling at you, you're a sinner, you're going to hell, you should feel guilty, how shameful, you better hope and beg and pray for a space in heaven, and you better hope and beg and pray you don't sin between now and when God comes back to judge you. It just creates this high level of anxiety and uncertainty in who I am and what I'm worth. Am I valuable? Questioning my value and worth consistently at a subconscious level, not even understanding it. And so when we experience that that messaging, that hall of mirrors, our adults, our surrounding is supposed to reflect back to us our value and worth. And when we have an inaccurate reflection, these people who are reflecting to us inaccurate mirrors solely from their own wounds, we can have compassion and love for their inability to heal their own wounds, but we believe this hall of mirrors, and it becomes the foundation for how we move through life. And so, I felt like a sinner. I felt guilty all the time. I felt shameful. And we again subconsciously project, as within so without, we project that out into the world. And so we attract people who are going to treat us like we're unworthy, who are going to treat us like we are unlovable, who are going to treat us that we don't deserve love and respect, the two things we all deeply desire most. And oftentimes we attract brokenness because we are broken. And again, it's not about being the victim. The person on the other side is also hurting and wounded and looking to you to be the accurate mirror that they didn't have. And so as I tell this story, it's not about blame. I fully own all of my responsibility in this. I fully own all of my ability to heal and to grow. And I am going to pat myself on the back for all of the progress that I've made. But what happened is, going from that experience in childhood into young adulthood and even parenting, constantly seeking that external validation. Show me I'm worthy. Show me I'm lovable. Show me I'm valuable. Show me I'm good enough. And very oftentimes you will attract the narcissistic personality. I think we have an epidemic of unworthiness globally, as well as narcissism globally. And these are a lot of labels that are subjective and difficult to quantify. And so it's, again, not about demonizing anyone, but recognizing these things as an energy. These energies have a personality as of their own, right? There is a collective energy of narcissism that is pervasive and affecting people's lives. There's a collective energy of unworthiness that is pervasive and affecting people's lives. And so you see how I'm having a really difficult time sticking to my story. So I attracted that into my life many, many times. I had no shortage of opportunity of relationships, but a severe shortage of opportunity for love, real love. And I kept drawing in broken people, and I was a people pleaser, and I was an overgiver, and I'm hypersensitive, and I'm extremely intuitive and empathic, and so I can sense what they need. I can sense their brokenness. I want to fix their pain for them. And so what happens? I end up hurting myself. So multiple boyfriends throughout high school and college, very unhealthy. Then a very significant relationship with my eldest son's father, who was to the T, a narcissist. And I learned a lot through that relationship. That was the moment of my first awakening, my first dark night of the soul, my first awareness into my own thoughts, and becoming able to see that I was living in the past, that I was constantly questioning what's wrong with me, why won't he treat me right? I love him so much, I'm willing to do anything, right? And still not seeing the lack of boundaries there. And so through that narcissistic relationship and that dark night of the soul, really going down to the deepest, darkest depths of questioning whether or not life was worth it, I also woke up for the first time. And that is going on 16 years ago now. And I thought I had it all figured out. I was like, okay, I get this. I can see my thoughts. I understand psychology. I understand neurobiology. I was, employing a lot of biohacks to create, mind-body synergy and flourishing gut health, and investing in my mindset. And I thought I had it all figured out. And then my ex-husband, as of today, likes to say that the tables were turned and we were dumped into each other's lap. And I thought, this is it. This guy, he's super healthy. He's really fit. He's into spirituality. He's health conscious, all the things I desired. And what I did not realize is that, as with all of us who have experienced complex trauma, we have a tremendous ability to be chameleon-like. That we can read a room really quickly and really easily and understand who we need to be in that situation for those people. And that can be really good. It can be a good skill, except that it causes us to wear a mask, and it causes us to be someone we're not. And I'm not going to blame him for projecting out something that he was not, because I believe that there is a desire to be that person. But I will say I own that I recognized red flags and I ignored them. That there was still a level in me of a porous boundary system. That there was a a self-abandonment happening where I knew that something in me was saying this is not right, and yet I was ignoring and not honoring myself, not trusting myself. That I wanted that relationship to be the relationship of my dreams so badly that I was willing to overlook. That I blamed myself instead of understanding where I ended and he began. And it's been 8 long years and 2 marriages with the same person of trying to untangle from that. And of course, I will never regret it. My daughters are the love of my life. My children, all 3 of them, are amazing and gorgeous and beautiful, and I would never change either of those relationships. They were my greatest catalyst. And I will say that I went into that relationship still as a very meek and mild person, still not fully understanding who I was, still not fully seeing my wounds, and not understanding how to trigger or how to heal them. He was very triggering. And it brought to me a reflection of what needed to be healed. If you want to check that out, there's a triggers video. The gift of triggers is also a painful way to learn, and we don't have to learn through pain anymore. But again, I'm grateful for everything that we've experienced. We have 2 beautiful children together and 8 years of tumultuous memories, lots of ups and downs, and I trust that, I know that there's no doubt in my mind that we are on the right path and that everything happens for a very beautiful, beneficial reason, and I feel tremendously grateful for not only the past, but also the future and where this is going to take us. And that will be my last narcissistic relationship. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I can spot those things a million miles away, and that strength that I gained from that cannot be taken away. I can spot BS. Oh, yeah, across the world probably at this point. All right, so what have I kind of been going through in the last week or 2 is a really important piece to share with you, because as we heal from this unworthiness wound, you got to get trauma up and out of the body. I'm not going to spend too much time explaining how to do that. What worked for me was brain spotting, so much so that I've invested in becoming a facilitator. It freaking works, you guys. I tried everything, but brain spotting works with the optic nerve, which is connected to the limbic brain, which allows you to pull up the trauma and get it up and out of the body, which you have to do. You absolutely cannot move forward because you will have the battle of the intelligent brain versus the subconscious brain until you do it. So when that happened, when I finally did it, there were parts of me that came up and out or started to flourish and express that I never knew existed. And there were parts of me that I thought were part of me, ways that I defined myself that actually were coping mechanisms. They were part of the trauma response instead of actually who I was. And so in that healing process, you then start to feel worthy and you say, okay, I am worthy, right? I am a child of the Most High Creator. I am my Creator's favorite. I was made with the breath of life. I was born valuable and I will die valuable, and it doesn't matter what I do in between. And we start to know this at a prefrontal cortex level. Our intelligent brain understands it, but we haven't fully integrated it. We haven't emptied out the trauma from the limbic brain. We haven't cleaned out the body, and we haven't integrated the belief at a core cellular level. So when you know something, when you know, that's at a core cellular level. There's a frequency and a vibration that is vibrating in every cell that says there is zero doubt. And I like to think that the Bible verse that says we need only the belief of a mustard seed, I think it is the opposite. I think we need so much faith and trust and belief that there is only a mustard seed of doubt, because that's where I see the manifestations coming from. So a couple of questions that I wrote down before we got started, because I wanted to share them with you, because this applies to anyone that's going through narcissistic relationships, healing trauma, healing the unworthiness wound, however you want to label it. this channel is about healing the trauma so that you can step into your life purpose, fully self-actualize, and make a living doing it, because abundance is our birthright. You're here to create heaven on earth, and you can't do that until you claim your gifts and your abundance. So some of the things that I saw coming up in me as I was leading up to this court hearing is I again was seeing that I've been willing to self-sacrifice for my kids. Everything else is healed. You know, I'm not doing it for anybody else but my kids, right? My kids. I just want to protect them. I just want to love them. So maybe I should let him have the house. Maybe I won't ask for maintenance. Maybe, you know, the child support is enough as it is. And there was a self-sacrificing happening there, because in that, and this is how I define it, because I don't believe in being selfish, that we are here to be of service. But when you hurt yourself to help others, that's a problem. Your creator does not want you to hurt yourself. He, she, it, they, them wants you to flourish, wants you to thrive, not strive. And so the question of, can I ask for what I need? And that was scary. That was really scary. There was a big, my stomach just fluttered with butterflies. And of course I reframed that as excitement instead of terror. But it was a push. It was like birthing pains to get myself to go all the way, to not self-sacrifice on any minute little thing, to ask for what I needed, not too much and not too little. And then to be happy. What if what I asked for led to something really good? What if I was happy and cared for and supported? It felt weird. It felt uncomfortable. It feels different is what it is. And so again, it's a reframe of the story that I'm telling myself. I am not unable to be happy. It is not uncomfortable to be happy. It's unfamiliar. It's new. It's different. Even though I've been tremendously happy the last year and a half since I finally stepped into my purpose, there are still levels of leveling up and leveling up and leveling up and stepping into the more joy, more bliss. There was a point when I first started this journey, I would get dizzy with happiness because it was just so much. My body was like, what the heck, being flooded with all these happy hormones, and I don't know how to handle it. So ask yourself, can you allow yourself to be happy? Can you step into that unfamiliar feeling and let it wash over you and open to it and say, yes, my creator wants me to be happy. I want to be happy. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be free. I deserve to be loved. I deserve to be respected. I deserve to be cared for. I deserve to be heard. I deserve to be seen. And believe it at a cellular level. And as you start to heal and step into this, there's going to be more and more situations that create these level ups, and they look like tests. They look scary. Last night, yesterday, last week, it looked really scary. And now, not even 2 hours after I walked out of that courtroom, everything's not just fine, but amazing and awesome and better than I ever could have expected. That your creator not only wants to give you what you need, but wants to provide an overflow of abundance, love, support, healing. So can you find the delicate balance between the surrender and the action? That in those moments leading up to this, it was really, really hard to know that I might have to ask him to sell our family home. I might have to ask him. In fact, I know I needed to suggest the sale of the home. And that was going to hurt him. And that was going to be uncomfortable for our kids. But that was the clear guidance that came from me and from me alone, which I think is why I'm asked not to take in a lot of other input, is because we have to get to know our own guidance system. No one knows what's right for you other than you. And there's a delicate balance that happens when you get the guidance and you're asked to take the action, but after that, you're asked to surrender into belief, into faith, into trust, into allowing, keeping at bay fear, anxiety, doubt, focusing on gratitude and awe. Thank you that you were taking care of me. Thank you that I know this is part of the plan. The true work that we have to do is the internal work of staying in trust. Trusting that he will be cared for, trusting that the kids will be cared for, trusting that I'm doing the right thing by asking for what I deserve, by not self-sacrificing. And then in that, part of our tendency is, if we've been a people pleaser, we've been an overgiver, we're used to self-sacrificing our whole lives, it can kind of build up. And the way we find the courage to actually speak our mind or ask for what we need is we have to lash out. I've had too much of this. Right? So then the next question is, can we respond with love and still have boundaries? Can I say that self-love means boundaries? It's not selfish. And I've hurt myself for many years by not having boundaries. So in this moment, I'm going to tell you very lovingly, I'm sorry that this hurts you, but this is what I have to ask for. And that can be a really hard thing for us recovering from the people-pleasing unworthiness wound. So it's never okay to act with aggression, to act with anger, to act with hate. That we always must come from a place of love. And in order to do that, that requires trusting the plan, trusting that we are cared for, trusting that it's going to work out for everybody, believing that we deserve to be happy, knowing that our Creator has our best interest in mind. And I had the most beautiful moments. I had to drive around for a little bit after I left the courthouse, because it's these moments where you step out in full faith. I filed for divorce while quitting my job, not knowing how I was going to be not knowing how I was going to be cared for or taken care of. It's all trying to come out at once. It seemed crazy. You rent a house, a very expensive house, you have no job, you're going to start a business with no money down, and you're filing for divorce? How are you going to feed your kids? It's not logical. It's not linear. It doesn't make sense to everybody else. It's not supposed to, and usually when it doesn't, you're on the right track. And I had this moment after I left the courthouse, driving in my car. There was a song, and it was just talking about how we are cared for, and it used a term that I wasn't even familiar with, the term gyra. I had to look it up, and of course it means God will provide. And I had this moment, and it's kind of how my insights come, is just like this. I don't hear audibly, but I have like a knowing of what was just said to me. And it said, he, she, it, they, them said, you were loved like the best parent could possibly love a child. This makes me want to cry. Because it's these moments where money for rent comes in, or money for food comes in, or new clients come in, or more than I ever could have possibly asked for in this divorce proceedings was offered. And I didn't have to fight or claw or yell and scream to get it, that it was offered. And I think of my kids, and I often look at how my parents tried and didn't understand, and how that has taught me how to be for my kids. And I try to be the best parent I can with boundaries, not the bubble parent, not the overspoiling parent, not the super strict parent, but, the delicate balance that is required in all of this. And the highest priorities for my kids are, they are seen, they feel safe, they know they are loved. I spoil the crap out of them without being materialistic, hopefully. I probably could work on that a little bit, but I care about what matters to them. And their happiness and their well-being is my top priority. And when that knowing was dropped in, it was like, if my Creator cares about me as much or more than I care about my kids, then I'm really loved. And I will never have to worry about, do I have food? These are tears of joy. It's just so freaking amazing. It's so good. And it's like, I've had this question recently of like, how can we help people see that God's cool? That this system, the game we call life, is freaking amazing. It's awesome. It's so fun how he shows up for us all the time. And how we even can trust ourselves in this process, because we were not made by accident. We were made with purpose and intention. We have gifts and skills and talents and strengths for a reason. We are here to do something amazing and awesome and fun and enjoyable, that our passions and our gifts are a compass to lead us towards our purpose. This is fun. It is fun. Even in those scary moments, because if we approach it with curiosity and like, whoa, I wonder how this is going to play out. I know God's got this, so what you got on tap today? Right? It's really cool. It's really, really cool. So can we trust ourselves, and can we trust that our Creator loves us like the best parent could possibly love a child? So hopefully my life is an example. Trust me, I'm crying because I'm happy. So I'm a feeler, and that's okay. It's awesome and amazing, and I embrace that. So here I am. That's what these vlogs are for. And the last point was that the the suggestion to find the rhythm that's currently being played, the music that's currently being played, and to play with it was as sort of the last thing that came through to share with you, that in this moment, a lot of us are going to be experiencing shifts of the track, adjustments to put us back on the right track. We've got a North Node conjunction happening with Uranus and Mars, and I kind of see it as a reset. Like, oh, you're not supposed to be in this lane. You're supposed to be in this lane. Come back over here. And I feel like it was a deliverance in a way. It's a good chance that my ex will watch this. I don't ever mean this about a person, that however someone responds is the energy that they're dealing with, that at our core, all of us are good people, deserve love and respect. But that doesn't mean that I have to hurt myself to be the one to give it. So, I probably will pose this question in another video, but I would love, 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 love to hear from you guys. I would love the community to chime in. Why? And I have some thoughts. I just need to sit down and let the guidance come through on it. But why do you feel that society sees God as uncool? And it's partially driven by the religious structure, the guilt and shame paradigm, all that good stuff. But I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on why it feels uncool to you, because what that's going to fuel for us is the ability to reframe and to extract the parts that have muddied the water, that this system, this game called life, the way it works out, the way we're not meant to carry the weight of the world, that all we have to do is manage our internal system. This is the most beautiful gift we have been given. And if we can kind of extract the yuck from it, we can help more people see how fun and awesome and cool and amazing this is. And just remember the phrase, my yoke is easy, my burden is light. That it really is meant to be awesome and amazing. And we are here to enjoy, experience, express, create. All right. I love you guys. I don't know when I'll do another vlog, but I hope you enjoyed this. I would love to hear from you. If you would, please just give me even just an emoji comment. That would be awesome and amazing to help the YouTube algorithm. I'd appreciate that. Otherwise, make sure you like, subscribe, and share so you get notified of the next video. This button right here will help you subscribe. Otherwise, if you'd like to see more of the general content I usually do, check out this video here, and I will see you on the flip side. Sending love to you, my friends. I will see you soon, one way or the other.